Okay guys, now you understand what is HTML and CSS, and in this video we're gonna create your first project, your first web page, and you will do it by yourself without me, which is really cool. And in order to create your first project, we just need to create a folder, which is our project, and let's call it as project 0. Yes, get used to count from 0 because we are future programmers. And in our project we need to create a new text document, and we usually name as index.html. index.html. If you can see the extension, you can just click to view and select this option. It will not be selected. Okay, you just select it and you can see the extension. It's really straightforward. So the next thing we need to do is just drag and drop our HTML index.html file to our IDE. For example, I use Sublime Text. You can see video how to set up it here. Okay, now we are in HTML file, and firstly we need to create our basic HTML structure where we can write our HTML code to render it in browser. So firstly we need to write the first HTML tag. It's probably the most unique HTML tag because we started with exclamation point. We write two angle brackets, and then we write doc type HTML. It means that we'll write in HTML and our browser understand it to correctly render our page, and it's in little bit influence for search engine optimization. You should always write it firstly. Next tag that we should write, yes, we call it as HTML tags. Is HTML. So the structure of our HTML tag, we should open it. So we open it with two bracket angles and the name of the tag inside. And then we should close it. Actually, exist tags that we don't need to close, but most tags we should close. And inside of this tag, we should write other tags. It's like a tree structure. So we can use different, we can just do tabs here to make our code a little bit more convenient. And so let's just create another tag. Another tag is head. And inside of this tag we should write title. Okay, let me use Emmet. If you don't know what it is, you can check out this video where I just set up this idea. And we click tab, and as you can see, it's a lot faster than if I just wrote the tag like I wrote. And in this tag we should write the name of our website. For example, let's call it as project 0. Project 0. Okay, and the last tag that we should write is body. Okay, body. And everything that is inside of this tag will be rendered in our browser. And now let's be polite with our computer and say hello to our computer. In order to do this, we should create the paragraph. Now to create the paragraph, we need to write P So we open it with 2 angle brackets with P inside, and we should close it. We close it with slash, as you noticed, and inside we write the text. Here we write hello computer. Let's just save it and check if it works. Yes, it works. We wrote your first program. Now you can write the code. TechP is not only one way to be polite with computer. We also can use, for example, tag H1, H2, and 26. These tags are titles of different size. Actually, in HTML exists a lot of different tags, maybe like 100, but in real work we apply like maybe 10, maybe even less, but not more than 10. And all of these tags that we use in real work, we'll talk about it, don't worry, and even do some practice with it. So let's talk about the titles. For example, first let's talk about H1, and let's write the same text here, and let's see the difference. We reload it, and as you can see, it's a lot bigger than paragraph. But actually, we not only have H1, we have more text, 6. The bigger the number is, the smaller the text is. So let's just save it and let's check how it works. As you can see, it's from very big to very small. And now really important thing, tag H1 we can use only one time in our page. So technically we can use this tag as much as you want, but we just use it only one time in our page, because when we use a lot of time it's bad for search engine optimization. This tags we can use as much as you want. This tag only one time. Now let's consider quite interesting tag, which is span. And let's type some text here. And if we save it and reload the page, for the first time it seems to you that it has no difference between paragraph and span, but actually it has a lot of difference. For example, if we copy the span and paste it below and do the same thing with paragraph, for example 1, and save the page, now you can see the difference. As you can see, the paragraphs go like a block, and the spans like a string. And it happened because in HTML exist block elements and inline elements. P is block element. Span is inline element. Inline elements are going in one string. And block element, as you can see, takes the whole space of this block. If we click F12, we can see it visually. If we hover it, you can see that this block takes a whole white. And if we hover the span, it takes only the space which these letters take. And that is the difference between inline and block elements. And another really important thing, you can't write block elements in inline elements. For example, you can I write the code like that. I will not explain why you should not do this, but just don't do this. It badly affects for SEO and for other things. Just don't do this. But you can write spans in block elements like P. You can just do like that, because P is block element, span is inline element. And if you reload the page, you will see no difference. But for example, let's just write an attribute for the span to make you see this difference. Okay, we should write style. And then let's just write color. It's CSS will figure out how it works in future. But let's just write some basic HTML or CSS. If we reload the page, as you can see, only span is red. Okay, next tag is strong. Strong is inline tag, so we can use it in our block element, which is P. Strong. If we wrap it, and let's reload the page, as you can see, it's a little bit bolder. And we also have pretty much the same tag, which is B. It's pretty much the same, but I heard that it's better to use strong. It's semantically a little bit better. And another really important tag is div. Usually we use it just to wrap different pieces of code, to divide it for different sections, and then to apply different CSS properties exactly for this piece. It's very briefly. In future, when we will do real practice, when we will create PSD to HTML or from Figma, you will understand our nuances of div, which is division, and how to use it properly. But for now, you should know that we just use it to wrap different pieces of code. For example, like that, or let's create it here and wrap this piece of code as well. And let's just put some CSS code. To write CSS code, as I said, we can use attribute style. And then we will just write like that. Let's, for example, write border 2 pixels, and then just save. And now let's just go to our browser, let's just check it out. As you can see, it's not working. We also need to set the color of this border. For example, let's just write solid. And as you can see, this piece of code is bordered. And as I said, paragraphs and h1 tags, they take a wool white of the screen. And if we do the same thing with span, it would only border this text. For example, let's just do this. Let's go here and write style, the same thing. I'm trying to explain everything in detail to make you understand it, to start doing real practice. So let's save and check. and as you can see, it's only this text is bordered. Now let's talk about tag using which we will create different menus in our website. This tag is UL and li. UL, and inside of this tag we should write li. For example, let's create 6 items, and for example, let's write, okay, let's just write text. I don't want to come up with the ideas what we can write there, so let's just write the text. It's an ordered list. I think that you know how it works. Just mark these items. But usually we just remove all these items to create the menu. We'll talk about this later. And another tag is OL, and we also use li inside of this tag. It's ordered, at least. And now I'll explain why I didn't like this tag. Yes, I think that you heard what I don't like this. It starts from 1, not from 0, and I don't know how to change it. If to be honest, maybe you can find some information about it, but I don't want to worry about this, because I don't even remember the last time when I've used this tag. Usually I just use UL. Next tag is image, img. We use this tag to show the image in our website. In order to do this, we need to have the image that we want to show in our browser. For example, I already have the image with this cat, if you can see him. Let's create a folder. Usually we just create a folder for all images which we want to show in our website, and then we just drag and drop this image to our folder, and then we just need to set the route. In order to do this, we just write the name of this folder, and then the name of the image. Also, I forgot to say, this tag, we don't need to close this tag. Majority of all of text in HTML we need to close, but we don't need to close image img. And it also has 2 attributes. Maybe it has more, but basically we use just these 2 attributes. And maybe we just add style or something like that. src, as you can see, it's just the route to the image, and add, we just describe the image. For example, let's write Palas. Okay, we need it just for search engine optimization. If we delete this tag, nothing will not be changed. Okay, let's just save it and check if it works. As you can see, it works. And we can see the image in our website. That's really cool. And we can do different operations with this image, but usually we just do this in CSS. We will talk about this later. Now we just talk about HTML. And another really important tag is A. We use this tag for different links in our website. For example, if we need to click to the text and go to another website, for example to google.com, if we want to link this text which we'll write here, for example, just Google. For example, to Google, we just write the URL to Google or another website which you want to use for your link. For example, we use google.com. Google. Okay, let's just save it and check how it works. Okay, let's just click here, and as you can see, we are in the google.com website. Okay, let's get back. Sometimes we don't need to replace our tab to another tab in this link. To avoid this, we need to add the attribute which is target. And blank. Okay, yes, we have used this attribute. We need to reload the page, and if we click to this Google website, will be in Google website as well, but it will be in another tab. Let's click here, and as you can see, it doesn't replace this tab to google.com website. It's just in another tab. So I think you got how this attribute works and how tag A works in general. Okay, now let's talk about another tag which we use sometimes. To be honest, I don't use this tag that often. Usually I just put some CSS selectors, but sometimes we need to move the piece of text down like that. But you can do this just moving the text down like that. If you save it and check it, as you can see, nothing has changed. But if we use our BR tag, for example, let's write it right here and save. As you can see, we have moved our text down. Nothing hard. I think you understand how it works. Very easy tag. And the last tag for this video is HR. It's just a horizontal line. I will not explain that much about this tag. So everything that you need to know is that it's just a horizontal line which separates our sections or different pieces of code. I will talk about semantical tags like section and header and footer in other videos when we will do the real practice. We'll create the real HTML and CSS websites. So if we save it and check this page, you'll see this HR horizontal line. Okay, now guys, let's just start doing the real practice. I have prepared for you like your personal home task. You can perceive it like your personal home task because I recommend you to do it firstly by yourself. Okay, here is your home task. Try to do this in your web page. Try to make this text in the center. We haven't talked about this in this video, so I recommend you to find how to do this in the internet firstly before you look how I did this. Probably it's one of the most important skills to find the information in Google. For example, you just Google how to do this, how to do the text with the yellow background or another background, doesn't matter, and then you do this, and it remains in your head a lot better than if you just watch the theory. And in the next time when you will try to create something else, and you will meet the task where you'll need to use this background, you will easily do this. Or feel free to Google the information. So try to do this, and now I'm gonna show you how to do this. Okay, firstly let's create the new folder for our project. Okay, project I'm sorry. Project 1. And let's do the same thing which we did for this project 0. Let's create a folder and we'll put here some images, and let's create index.html file. Index.html, and let's just open it to check it out. Just empty file, and let's open it in our Sublime Text. And okay, I'm gonna use Emmet to do it really fast. I just write exclamation point and click tab, and as you can see, you have the default HTML structure. Let's name it as project 1 and just save it. And now, firstly, what we need to do? We need this text. This text is title. We need to use h1. Okay, let's write h1 and let's check it. Okay. And let's make it in center. We'll write style and text align center. Let's just check it. As you can see it in center. It is this CSS selector which I wanted you to find in the internet and do it by yourself. So if you haven't found it, it's not that good, but you can look how to do this here. You just write style and text align center. Okay, then I'm sorry, we need a picture. Okay, let's take this picture from our previous project. Image. I just copy it and paste it here. And type img. You know how to work with this tag, and let's just type the route. Folder img and the name of the image. Image.jpg. And let's write here palace-cat. Palace-cat. You just describe the picture here. We use it usually for search engine optimization. If we delete it, nothing will be changed. Absolutely. But it's better to write it here. Let's save it and check it. Okay, let's just scale it. I'm gonna show you. For example, if we just delete it, as you can see, it's the same result. Let's just get it back and check what we need to do then. Now, just a paragraph. Let's write the tag P here and type the content. Okay. Now we need to write the list, unordered list, it to be more exact, to be more accurate. Let's write UL and for list inside. Let's just copy this text. It's nothing hard right now. We just copy the text. Okay, and let's check how it works. Content and unordered list. Okay. And now we need to add the link for this release. Let's write here tag A. And usually where we don't need to type the link, we just write the hash. Okay. And its link is just a link. It doesn't go anywhere. If we save it and check it, as you can see, only the hash has been added to our URL. Nothing special, but let's continue. It's H3. We can use as much as we want. I mean, we can use only one time H1, and as much times as we want, we can use other H's. And let's just copy it and paste it here. Nothing special for now. Just an usual P. As you remember, we can use only inline tags in block tags like P. We can use here strong to kind of highlight this text. Let's do this. Okay. And write the attribute style. Let's use background color. I wanted you to find this CSS selector in Google as well. You're well done if you have done it by yourself. I really appreciate it. You'll become a really good web developer in future if you'll keep going like that. Yellow. Okay, and let's save it. And now let's use some beer tags. Let's do just like here. We'll write BR. Let's just put it down. Then the word truly, beer, okay, then, sorry, wood, okay, and let's check it. As you can see, it's like in our Word document. And let's just copy and paste it 4 times. And just replace the text. Okay, I did this, and now let's add HR tags for our sections. Okay, and here it is. HR. I just copy and HR, and the last one here. Let's save it and check. Here it is. Looks amazing. Okay, almost amazing. It's only HTML without CSS. Okay, almost without CSS. We have used some selectors for the background and for centralizing the text. And now let's do quite interesting thing with our links. I'm gonna show you how to do this. Instead of this hash, okay, firstly, we need to add the ID for the text where we want to link, where we want to get after clicking to this A. For example, we want to, if we click to this tag, we want to get here. We write the ID, for example, how we call it. Okay, let's call it as first, and actually we need to write the hash here and like that. Let's save it and check if it works. If we click here, as you can see, we get to this section. Okay guys, let's make the conclusion of this video. Now you can create your own website with this amazing palace CAD, and you know how to use different HTML text, which is really good. Now I recommend you to do a little bit more practice if you don't feel that confident with this HTML text which I told you in this video. But if you feel confident, I recommend you to watch the next video, because HTML is not that difficult thing. In the next video we'll talk about HTML forms, and then we will talk about CSS. A couple of videos where we will talk about CSS selectors, and after that we will do the real practice. Will create your own landing page, and you will be able to do it by yourself. It will be like your home task, like this web page. I recommend you to do all my practical tasks by yourself and then watch how I did it. Okay guys, I said everything that I wanted to say in this video, and I wish you good luck and see you in the next videos. We have a lot of things to do.